On August 28, 2003, a man walked into a small bank in Erie, Pennsylvania. He wasn't wearing a mask, he wasn't shouting, he wasn't threatening anyone. He was a pizza delivery driver. His name was Brian Wells. Around his neck was a metal collar. Attached to that collar was a bomb, and he was holding a note that said he had to rob the bank, or the bomb would explode. At first, no one took it seriously, because Brian didn't look like a criminal. He looked like an everyman, middle-aged, overweight, soft-spoken, the kind of person you wouldn't look twice at, the kind of person you'd trust to deliver your food. Brian told the tellers he didn't want to do this. He said he had been forced. He left the bank with just over $8,000 and was quickly surrounded by police. They handcuffed him in a parking lot. They questioned him. They assumed the bomb was fake. Brian kept repeating the same thing. "This is real, they're going to kill me." He said he'd been lured to deliver a pizza to a remote location, that when he arrived, people ambushed him, strapped the bomb to his neck, and gave him instructions. He said he had to follow a scavenger hunt of clues to unlock the bomb, but the clues were impossible to complete in time. As police waited for the bomb squad, the bomb detonated. Brian Wells died on the pavement. And for a moment, the story seemed simple. An innocent man forced into a nightmare, a victim. But as investigators dug deeper, the story began to crack. The bomb was real, complex, deliberately cruel. It wasn't designed to be removed. It was designed to terrify. And the people who made it weren't strangers. They were connected to Brian. Investigators uncovered a twisted group behind the plot. A woman named Marjorie Deal Armstrong, highly intelligent, manipulative, violent. A man named Bill Rothstein, who helped build the bomb. Another man, Kenneth Barnes, who admitted involvement. Their plan was to use Brian as a pawn, to make him rob the bank, to split the money, and if he failed, the bomb would solve the problem. But then came the most unsettling discovery. Evidence suggested Brian might not have been completely innocent. Some accomplices claimed he knew about the robbery in advance, that he believed the bomb was fake, that he thought it was a scare tactic, that he agreed to play a role, until he realized too late that the bomb was real. If that's true, then Brian didn't walk into the bank believing he would die. He walked in believing he was part of a plan, and then became trapped inside it, a plan that turned on him, a plan he couldn't escape. The courts ultimately ruled that the conspirators were responsible for his death. Marjorie Deal Armstrong was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. She died behind bars. No one was ever able to say with certainty how much Brian knew, or when he knew it. And that uncertainty is what makes this case so disturbing. Because Brian Wells wasn't a mastermind. He wasn't a hardened criminal. He was an ordinary man who may have made a small, reckless decision and paid for it with his life. The story feels terrifying because it sits in an uncomfortable place, between victim and participant, between coercion and consent, between choice and trap. And it leaves us with a question that has no clean answer. If an ordinary person can be pulled into something this horrific, at what point does a bad decision become a death sentence? And how many of us would know when it was already too late?